Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best VR headsets.
Starting at number 5.
Meta Quest 2. The Meta Quest 2 is still the best value VR headset on the market for the majority of players, even if it's staring down the barrel of the Quest 3's launch. This remains one of the cheapest mid-range VR options out there, so if you're looking for no-fuss VR on a budget, this is just the headset for you. While we were a little disappointed to find the Oculus Quest 2 felt a little cheaper than its predecessor, it's actually very comfortable to wear, and there are plenty of great Meta Quest 2 accessories if you want the perfect feel for you. The Quest 2 is lighter than most other headsets on the market, with a weight of 503 g. The resolution of 3664 by 1920 per eye may not be all that impressive compared to newer headsets, or ones that can utilize gaming PC power, but for a standalone this works just brilliantly. Similarly, 100 degrees of FOV is more than enough for something of this price. You won't need to sustain your disbelief with specs like these. In our Meta Quest Pro review, we found the battery life and AR features made it much less viable than the Meta Quest 2 remains today. The Quest 2 will last just over 2 hours on a full charge, and that's without the Elite strap that can give you an extra battery pack boost. To be fair, whoever is gaming solidly in one VR session for over 2 hours, we salute you. Please remember to play responsibly and keep hydrated.
Coming at number 4.
Valve Index. The Valve Index is one of the go-to VR choices for PC gamers, and for good reason. This is a total luxury device that will match anyone who has a beefy gaming PC already. It isn't pricey though, and arguably these days you can get better all-round performance for less cash. Design and features. There are a few features of the Valve Index that we need to get out of the way right at the start. First up is that finger tracking system. Rather than relying on per-controller tracking, the Valve Index has stepped where no VR headset has gone before, adding sensors for each individual finger via a touch-sensitive panel. The second is a 120 Hz refresh rate that will cover for a slightly lower resolution by allowing games to slide across the screen without a hint of a flicker.
At number 3.
HTC Vive Pro. If you're after the best VR headset for PC gaming money can buy, we'd point you in the direction of the HTC Vive Pro 2. This is certainly a big kid's toy, coming in at $800 for the headset alone, without taking the extra required accessories and high-end PC into account. However, for specialists and budget-busting enthusiasts, the HTC Vive Pro 2's 4896 by 2448 resolution, pinpoint motion tracking, and Steam VR integrations make it a must-see. That 4896 by 2448 per eye resolution sits at the very top of the current market, offering up super clean visuals that you won't find on cheaper headsets. You are tethered to a PC here, and that's going to need to be capable of the heavy lifting required for that visual fidelity. Combine that incredible resolution with the gargantuan 120 degrees field of view and refresh rate of up to 120 Hz, and you're onto a high-end headset. Everything encasing all that tech is also incredibly premium. We love the futuristic external aesthetic, but not as much as the lightweight design. Performance. The quality of the HTC Vive Pro 2 does reveal itself over time. It took our reviewer a couple of days to fully adopt the correct settings for his eyes, so it's worth noting that you'll need some extra tinkering time for the best result. However, once you're there, the investment you've made is well worth it. Make no mistake, as far as all-round PC VR performance goes, the HTC Vive Pro 2 is up there with the best on the market. Sure, there are competitors that do certain aspects just as well, but those can be even more pricey, and even then, you won't get this graphical fidelity.
Number 2 of my list.
Meta Quest 3. Following on from the successes of the Quest 2, the Meta Quest 3 blends some excellent standalone VR power with some great mixed reality versatility. Available in both 128GB and 512GB models, this is the best VR headset for gaming if you don't want to be at the mercy of a PS5 or high-end gaming PC. The face of the Quest 3 tells you everything you need to know about it. This is a clear successor to the Oculus Quest 2, but one that uses its frontal cameras to blend it into a mixed reality headset. In practical terms, the Quest 3 feels extremely similar to the Quest 2 in terms of fit and comfort. The central headband will, admittedly, still mess up your hairdo, but it adjusts far easier than the one on the Quest 2. Features. The biggest differences that separate the Quest 3 from its predecessor, and indeed, its rivals, have to be its pancake lenses and Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 processor. The latter makes the experience of using the headset much smoother, while the former massively increases the areas of the display that appear clearly, creating less blur, and much better periphery when playing VR games. 3D audio is at play here too, and it works a charm. The integrated speakers are so much better than the ones on the Quest 2, although their extra bulk can sometimes mean the user feels more pressure on the side of their head, especially if glasses are being worn. Performance. The biggest drawback to a standalone headset, even one as good as the Quest 3, is battery life. The lifespan here is better than on the Quest Pro, but if you don't invest in an additional head strap with a battery pack, you'll be stuck with around 2 hours or so before having to recharge. The pass-through cameras are truly brilliant, and mean you can do some fun spatial computing if you want to. Annoyingly, the display and controllers feel virtually identical to the Quest 2's, meaning besides the pancake lenses, processor, and beefed-up audio, there's not a massive difference between the two headsets.
And number 1.
PlayStation VR 2. PSVR 2's list of impressive tech specs adds up to a highly cohesive VR package. This is a headset that absolutely oozes value for money, especially when you add up the costs of VR gaming on a PC. A high-end PC that will make the most of the other VR powerhouses on this list will likely set you back more than $1,000. Add in the $1,000 or so you'll spend on one of those headsets alone, and you've got quite the investment. Meanwhile, a PS5 will set you back around $500, with PSVR 2 setting you back $549. For that amount, you get an incredible VR platform and a growing number of must-play games. The aesthetics of PSVR 2 are a beautiful evolution of Sony's first visor. Subtly rounded corners and camera placement on the corners of the headset's front panel make it look futuristic. The raised headband design makes it feel lighter than the original as well, although can put some uncomfortable pressure on your noggin. Features. For your money, you get a slew of impressive features that ground you in VR experiences like never before. Haptic feedback in the excellent VR2 Sense controllers, the headband, and some light trigger resistance. These features arguably feel more at home in VR than they do on the DualSense. The OLED panel looks astounding whether you're fully immersed in the 110-degree FOV, or whether you're playing non-VR content in cinematic mode. The clever integrations thanks to really solid eye tracking and foveated rendering will have your jaw continually hitting the floor too.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.